EC2 stands for Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. EC2 service provides configurable compute capacity in the AWS Cloud to the users. In this video, you will master AWS EC2 like a pro. You will master every concept with a plethora of examples. Hello everyone, my name is Mariam and I will be your instructor for this video. In this video, we will talk about Amazon EC2 service, which is also called Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. And if you are new to this channel, then also please do not forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell icon so that you get all the latest updates and information about the latest videos. Now, before we start with the topic, let us have a look at the agenda of this lecture. We will look at the EC2 service of AWS. We will talk about EC2 instance, features of AWS EC2, benefits of using EC2, Amazon EC2 basics, EC2 instance types, how we can create EC2, instances, outcome. In this video, we will master the main concepts of the EC2 service of AWS. We will master every concept with a plethora of examples. EC2 service. AWS EC2 or Elastic Cloud Compute is an Amazon Web Service that provides configurable compute capacity in the AWS Cloud. It provides infrastructure as a service, that is IaaS, to its users. EC2 service gives us complete control over the computing resources, which we can scale as per our needs. The EC2 service shortens the time required to boot and obtain new server instances, also known as Amazon EC2 Instances. It enables capacity scaling based on computing needs, which means that whenever more storage is required, EC2 will automatically scale up as per the demand. Amazon EC2 provides tools for developing failure-resistant applications while isolating system administrators and developers from failure scenarios. EC2 is based on the server virtualization concept, in which the full computing power of server hardware is divided into different instances and delivered to the end user via the internet as a computing instance. Great, so we saw what EC2 service is, and now we will look at EC2 instances. EC2 instances. An Amazon Web Services EC2 instance is a virtual server that runs applications on Amazon's EC2. An instance is a small component of a larger computer, complete with a hard drive, network connection, operating system, and so on. Now, we can run multiple small computers known as instances on a single physical machine. EC2 instances are virtual servers that have been phased out in favor of on-request physical hardware. Using EC2 instances, an EC2 user can rent a virtual server or instances as needed and configure and run applications on them. AWS EC2 instances can eliminate our need to buy or use expensive equipment and programming ventures and the executives. Amazon EC2 is really very useful because it enables users to scale up or down easily. We saw what EC2 instances are, and now we will talk about some important features of using EC2 instances. EC2 instances have pre-configured templates of Amazon machine images. We can use these images for creating servers and operating systems in virtual environments. EC2 instances are extremely secure and safe to use. They are protected with key pairs. We can use instances as per our needs because instances are of various instance types. Instances also provide a firewall that allows users to specify ports, protocols, and source IP range that reaches your instance. This makes our instances safe and secure, and these settings can be configured using the security groups. We can also store our instance data in the storage volume provided by AWS. Instance store volume also erases the data when the instance stops working or it is terminated by the user. If we want to provide regular storage to store our data, we need to configure Amazon EBS volumes with our EC2 instances. Now, the benefit of using Elastic Block Storage or EBS is that we can again attach or use the storage volume when we have terminated the instance with a new EC2 instance. Now, by default, the instances which we create, they have dynamic IP. We can also provide our instance with a static IP using elastic IP addresses. Instances also secure our login information for our instances using key pairs. Amazon secures our keys by storing the public key, and we get to store our private key in a secure place where it is hidden but easily accessible. We can get to know that the EC2 service of AWS is very important and useful by the features and the benefits. We saw features of using EC2 instances, and now we will look at the benefits of using EC2 instances. So the very first benefit of using EC2 instances is increased reliability. The Amazon EC2 cloud system is available globally, allowing businesses to expand significantly. The global one-stop service, it speeds up your application's load time. Amazon EC2 provides 99.9% availability in each Amazon EC2 region. The services, they are highly dependable and instances can be easily and quickly replaced. The second advantage of utilizing EC2 instances is EC2 service of AWS is based upon the pay-as-you-go model. This feature makes it very cheap to use AWS instances. Now, users, they are required to pay only for the resources that they use. It makes this service cheap, and because of which, users get to save money and make the best use of the available resources. EC2 reaps the benefits of Amazon's scale by charging a very low fee in comparison to the services provided. The third benefit of using EC2 instance is auto-scaling. Auto-scaling of EC2 instances allows users to automatically adjust the number of compute instances in an instance pool. EC2 instances allow users to provide consistent performance during times of high demand, while also lowering your cost during times of low demand. We can understand it by the example of Netflix that uses this feature to its advantage and provides a smooth, crash-free experience to its users all across the globe. We all know that Netflix is used by millions and millions of people all over the world, and the number of users using Netflix also keeps on increasing every year. Now, Netflix is able to handle high traffic when a lot of users log in to watch their favorite shows only because of automatic scalability. In auto-scaling, we can scale up or scale down as per the website traffic dynamics. Amazon EC2 Basics. Now we will be talking about basic terms of the EC2 section, which will help us in understanding this section better. Important terms. The first EC2 term that we will be talking about is EC2 Dashboard. EC2 Dashboard gives the users an overview of their EC2 usage in a given region. We can use pre-made instances in the EC2, or we can launch templates. Now, templates can be launched by creating a template that specifies the instance configuration, permissions, and best practices, and use it to automatically launch instances using auto-scaling and EC2 Fleet. The second term of the EC2 section is EC2 Images. AMI is used to generate EC2 images. When we launch an instance, we use Amazon Machine Images or AMI. Images provide the necessary information for launching an instance. We can also use a single AMI to create multiple instances. It is used by users when multiple instances with the same configuration are required. Similarly, if you require instances with different configurations, we can create multiple instances using different AMIs. We can also replicate an existing AMI to various regions. Now, the third term of EC2 is Elastic Block Storage Volumes. Elastic Block Storage Volumes functions similarly to hard disks in the cloud. They can be linked to our Amazon EC2 instances. We can install operating systems and software on them, or we can also use them to host dynamic websites such as WordPress. To provide redundancy and high availability, every Amazon EBS volume that is provisioned will be automatically replicated to other storage devices in the same availability zone within the AWS region. AWS also provides great encryption of data at rest using Amazon Managed Keys or keys created by customers using Amazon Key Management Service or KMS. Now, there are three main types of Amazon EBS volumes. The first type of EBS volume is General Purpose SSD GP2. These are the most common volume types. They were created to be a low-cost storage option for a wide range of workloads. Now, these volumes, they include system volumes, development and test cases, and a variety of low-latency apps. They are available in capacities ranging from 1 GB to 16 GB and have a very low latency of a few milliseconds. The term IOPS refers to the number of input-output operations per second. It is a metric for determining how fast hard drives, HDDs, or SSDs and storage area networks function. IOPS refers to how many commands a storage device or media can read and write per second. Now, they are reasonably priced considering the balanced performance that they provide. They are priced at $0.1 per GB of provisioned storage per month. Now, the second type of EBS volume is provisioned IOPS, SSD-backed volumes. SSD-backed volumes are designed for transactional workloads in which the volume performs a large number of small read-write operations. These volumes can store between 4 gigabytes and 16 terabytes of data, and their IOPS can range from 100 to 64,000 IOPS per volume with a throughput of up to 1000 MB per second. They are useful for latency-sensitive cases such as large database workloads, example MySQL, Cassandra, MongoDB, and Oracle, and key business applications that require the kind of consistent performance that GP2 volume cannot provide. All of this comes with a price of $0.125 per GB per month of provisioned storage and $0.065 per provisioned IOPS per month. HDD-backed volumes are intended for large sequential workloads where throughput is critical, that is, performance is measured in MIB per second. They are inexpensive. This is the type of volume that provides low-cost storage while meeting the demands of sequential workloads that require more throughput than IOPS. It is a volume type to consider when operating with data warehouses, log processing, ETL, that is extract, transform, load, or AWS EMR. It should be noted that this volume type cannot be used as a boot volume. And now we will be discussing some important elastic block storage terms. EBS snapshots. Backups of our EBS volumes can be created using snapshots. These snapshots can be used for creating multiple EBS volumes with the same data. Data protection is the primary reason for snapshots. Snapshots can be utilized to back up essential workloads like huge databases or file systems that span many EBS volumes. And now we will be learning some topics of EC2 related to network and security. The first topic of network and security about which we will be talking is security groups. They function similarly to a virtual firewall for our EC2 instances. all traffic to an instance is routed through its security group. We can specify through which ports users can enter and who will be able to send and receive data through them. The next topic that we will be talking about is elastic IPs. Our AWS account is assigned an elastic IP address, which is ours until we release it. We can mask the failure of an instance or software by immediately remapping the address to another instance in our account using an elastic IP address. And now we will talk about the next term, which is key pairs. We must use key pairs to connect to our EC2 instances. Keys are classified into two types. There are two keys, a public key and a private key. It is really important for us to save our private key in a folder where it is safe and it can be easily accessible, because we will not be able to recover our private key if we lose our key. And then we will be forced to create a new key pair. Great. So we saw various important terms we need to know in this EC2 service. And now we will look at various instance types that AWS has to offer. Different instance types. The first type of instance about which we will be talking today is on-demand instances. Using on-demand instances, we pay for compute capacity by the second with on-demand instances, and there are no long-term commitments. We have complete control over its life cycle. We decide when it should start, stop, hibernate, start, reboot, or terminate. We do not need to make any advance payments. We only need to pay for the hours that we use. Its cost is the highest as there is no commitment. We are not required to make a long-term commitment. We only need to pay for the seconds that our on-demand instances are active. The second type of instance about which we will be talking is reserved instances. Reserved instances are a reduced price billing concept in which businesses can acquire significant discounts compared to standard on-demand cloud computing prices in exchange for committing to a certain level of usage. The terms under which a reserved instance discount is offered, on the other hand, differs from provider to provider. Reserved instances can be a major financial benefit to businesses with consistent workloads. Savings of up to 70% they are possible. The rate of discount varies depending on the length of the commitment and also how much you pay in advance, if that option is available. You are then charged for the reserved capacity rather than the capacity you provision on an instance-by-instance basis. The next type of instance is spot instance. AWS spot instances are great if we want to reduce our EC2 on-demand instance cost by up to 90%. Spot instances are being used by an increasing number of businesses, ranging from SMBs to enterprises, for mission-critical and production workloads. Spot instance pricing has greatly reduced cloud costs. It is good for the users who want to use high processing power at a low price. Brilliant. So we saw the different instance types like on-demand, reserved, and spot instances. As we all know, different instances are there for different purposes. And now we will learn to use which instance for which type of work. AWS provides a variety of EC2 instance types that are optimized for different purposes. We get so many options to choose from, but it also means that we will have to learn all the types for better understanding. We have to learn many instance types. If we will remember them with acronyms, it will become much easier for us to learn. Now, there are many instance types in this video, but we will talk about some of the most important ones. We can remember them with any acronym that we want. You can make your own acronym too, or else you can choose to learn from them. MEC GIFT DPXR, DMC GIFT PXR, or MEC GIFT PX. We will start learning with the first instance type, which is general purpose. These are instance types. These general purpose AWS EC2 instance types are a good place to start, particularly if you are not sure what type to use. Here, T stands for tiny. The T2 instances are used for common use, which means they can be used to run basic applications such as websites or as a development environment. Although it is a less expensive option within the AWS EC2 family, one should keep in mind that the T2 instances cannot be used for tasks that require more compute or memory. T3 instances are the next generation of burstable generic instance types, providing baseline CPU performance with the ability to burst CPU utilization at any time and for any length of time. T3 instances offer balanced computing, memory, and network resources and are intended for apps with moderate CPU utilization that causes temporary growths in usage. We will also provide a mnemonic to aid in remembering the purpose of each instance type. Mnemonic: T is for tiny or turbo. The second type of instance which we will learn is M instance types. These instance types are also used for general purposes. The M instance type is similar, but they are also designed for more reliable workloads. It has a good mix of CPU, memory, and disk. It is the reason M instances host nearly half of all the EC2 workload. With M5, we can choose M6G, which is powered by ARM-based AWS Graviton 2 processors and thus more cost-effective. There are also M5A, M5N, and M4 codes. We can choose M5 if we are not sure what to choose, as M5 is the most versatile of all the Amazon instance types. Mnemonic: M is for the main choice or happy medium. Now we will be talking about C instance type. These instance types are compute optimized. Instances of this type, they have a higher CPU to memory ratio. We can use these EC2 instance families for applications that require a lot of compute power and not memory. These instances are mostly found in the C4, C5, and C6 families, with C5 being the most common. The letter C stands for compute. C instances are typically used to run high-performance data analysis, workloads, multiplayer gaming, media transcoding and rendering, complex machine learning models, and scientific modeling, and so on. Here, mnemonic: C is for compute. The fourth instance type is R instance families. These are used for memory-optimized work. These instance types are designed to run memory-intensive operations such as in-memory databases or real-time data processing with Apache Spark or Presto. These instance families can also be used to run high-performance relational databases such as MySQL and PostgreSQL, as well as NoSQL databases such as MongoDB and Cassandra. It can also be used to run OLAP and similar analytical workloads such as SQL Server Analysis Services or SAP HANA. These instances can be from the R4 or R5 families. Here, mnemonic: R is for RAM. X1 family of instances. The X1 family has a much higher memory ratio. It is a wise option if we have a fully in-memory application or a big data processing engine like Apache Spark or Presto. The X1E is designed for high-performance databases, in-memory databases, and other memory-intensive enterprise applications. Mnemonic: X stands for extreme. The fifth type of instance is I instance types. These are storage optimized. It includes two types of instances. Storage optimized EC2 instances. They are used to support high I/O workloads like parallel processing or MPP data warehouses. These instances can also be used to run MapReduce or Hadoop distributed workloads. Within the storage optimized instances, there are various types such as D2, D3, H1, I3, and so on. Now, in most of the cases, two types of storage devices are used: hard disk drives, HDD, and solid state drives or SSD. When we want database applications that require high read and write rates, SSDs should be used because they can handle writes faster than HDDs. Mnemonic, I is for IOPS. D2 Instance Types. D2 instances have an even greater disk to CPU and memory ratio, making them well suited for massively parallel processing. They have the highest disk to volume ratio. Mnemonic, D is for dense. The next type of instance is the P instance type. So these are used for accelerated computing. It includes various types of instances like the P type of instance. If your instances require GPUs, P3 instances are a good option. We can use them when we want to do work like video editing, and AWS lets use cases such as computational fluid dynamics, computational finance, seismic analysis, speech recognition, and autonomous vehicles, indicating that they are fairly specialized. Now, there are also P2 instances available. Mnemonic, P stands for photographs, graphics. Type of instance, Inf1. Inf1 instances are a subset of EC2 instances designed for machine learning inference applications such as recommendation engines, forecasting, image and video analysis, advanced text analytics, document analysis, voice and text analytics, conversational agents, translation, transcription, and fraud detection. G type of instance. The G instance type is designed to accelerate machine learning inference by using graphics processing units or GPUs to accelerate graphics-intensive tasks. These include image metadata, automated speech recognition, and language translation, as well as graphics workstations, video transcoding, and cloud game streaming. Now, the most recent family is the G4, but the G3 is also available. The abbreviation G stands for Graphics or GPU F1 instance type. F1 instances provide programmable hardware acceleration via Field Programmable Gate Arrays or FPGAs. Hence, the F suffix applications could include genomic research, financial analysis, and real-time video processing. Mnemonic, F is for FPGA. And now we will come to the last topic of this video, and it is how we can create EC2 instances. So we need to follow some simple steps if we want to create EC2 instances. To create an EC2 instance, the first step is we need to sign into our AWS account and navigate to the AWS Services tab in the top left corner. All of the AWS services are listed here, and they are divided into categories such as compute, storage, database, and so on. To create an EC2 instance, we must first select compute, and in compute, we need to select EC2. This will launch the EC2 dashboard. Now we are on our EC2 dashboard. Here we will get all the information of our AWS EC2 resources running. Step 2 is we need to select the region in which we want to deploy or provision our EC2 instances. After choosing the desired region, we need to come back to the dashboard. This time on the dashboard, we will click on Launch Instance under the section Create Instance. Step 3 is we need to choose AMI. Here we will have to select an AMI of our choice. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. It is essentially a template of an operating system platform that we can use as a foundation to build our instance. When you launch an EC2 instance from your desired AMI, the instance will be booted with the desired OS. Here we will choose the default Amazon Linux 64-bit AMI. Step 4 is to choose instance types. We will be using AWS's T2.micro instance type, which is a 1V CPU and 1 GB memory server. For additional configurations, we will click Configure Instance Details. Step 5 is we need to configure the instance, keeps the request spot instances option unchecked under purchasing options for the time being. We will be talking about types of instances in the coming tutorial. Following that, we must configure some basic networking details for our EC2 server. For this video, we will be keeping all the options default as we are just creating a basic instance. We will be asked to select what should be the shutdown behavior when we will shut down our instance. Now, we do not want our instance to directly get deleted but stopped. We will choose to stop. Our instance will not get terminated because AWS has another layer that secures our instance from getting deleted. Now we will select Next, Add Storage. Step 6, we will be configuring storage. In the storage section, we will choose to add storage. We can see that the instance has been automatically configured with an 8 GB general purpose SSD root volume. For this video, we will be choosing the default storage option. Step 7, add tags. A key value pair can be used to identify our instance. When there are a large number of instances, this provides visibility to the AWS account administrator. Tags are just used to identify our instances. Now we will add no tag and we will click on Next, Configure Security Groups. Step 8, Security Groups. Security Group is provided by AWS as an additional firewall mechanism in addition to your instance's OS firewall. Here we will create a new security group as we are creating an instance for the first time, as we do not have existing security groups. So for this video, we will be selecting HTTP and then Anywhere. We will click on Next, Review and Launch. Step 9, Review Instance Launch. After checking all the settings we have configured, we will click on the Launch button. Now here we will have to create our key pair. We will choose the option to create a new key pair and we will be giving the name of our key pair. We can choose any name. We will be choosing the name First Instance and then we will click on the Download Key Pair, which will help us in accessing our instance. Now we will click on Launch Instance. When the page will load, we will see the option Your Instances are now launching. We will click on the random ID which is assigned to our instance in the section Your Instances are now launching. Once your instance is up and running, you can see its status as running. So in this video, we talked about important concepts of EC2. The assignment for this video is you have to create another instance and this time you can do some changes by choosing different tags and by making different configurations. So we hope that you thoroughly enjoyed our lecture and also please do not forget to write your comments in the comment section down below. In case if you have any queries, suggestions and doubts, we are always ready to hear and we will reply to your questions as soon as possible. So that is it for this video and I will meet you all very soon in the next lecture. Till then, keep learning and stay safe. Bye.